Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm George.
I'm Stav.
So today we're going to be working on Stav's B5 again.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to say shitbox, but I'm saying we're working on it again.
But you said sh and stop, so like,
we're going to be working. We're going to be upgrading some things. His cylinder head came in. We're going to talk about that here in the next minute or so. We're going to be working on remounting, making some new piping for his intercooler system. Now that I'm a little bit more comfortable and confident with aluminum TIG welding. Showcasing what's going on with the original mounts that the intercooler was kind of set up on the shop that Stav used, the local fab shop, race shop.
Only the finest quality MIG weld.
So I'm going to be revamping this, making a mounting system similar to what I did for the RS3. For those of you guys that are not aware, I'll post a link of the RS3 intercooler video so you can see how we made that.
Nobody cares.
But stop, pretty much. Talk to us. What's going on with your head? It's got some special gold rings here. It's got some weird looking things on it. I've never seen anything like that in person. What is it and why'd you get it?
Well, this is for performance, so this makes sense why you never saw it. This is copper O-rings. So basically, we had some head sealing issues before. And we had low compression on the motor still, even after the rebuild. But every time we did a leak down test, we knew it was something with the head. So we sent out the head to Force Fed Engineering in New York. They checked every single valve. Every single valve was leaking. They apparently were never lapped or done a valve job on, even though I paid for it. But
so let's talk about something special. So we use a copper head gasket for the first time ever. We've never done it before.
Correct.
And that was part of the problem, not because of the copper, but what do normal people do now that we've learned do with copper head gaskets over time?
They continue to retorque them. But at the same time, we had the head sealing issue with coolant, but we also had low compression still. We still had a compression issue because it was leaking.
And then per the last video, we showed that pretty much all the valves in your head were leaking. So he relapped them, replaced
But since then, we have rebuilt the head, and they didn't do a great job because it was still leaking.
Got it.
So now they finally have it rebuilt again. We have it, videos of it being pressure tested, vacuum tested, and everything now is perfect.
Okay, and just to clarify, when you say they, obviously now Force Fed Engineering redid your head, installed new valves, lapped them, O-ringed it. It's got this copper O-ring. What size copper O-ring is it?
That's 41 thousandths wire.
41 thousandths wire. Okay,
Right.
and usually some of the videos on YouTube and the GDM crowd, they go with anneal steel. Is there a reason why you went with copper?
That's because that's what Ed recommends, and I trust Ed with his experience.
Okay, cool. Not a problem. So we got your head in. We're going to get into that a little bit later and getting your engine together. But today we're going to be focusing on redoing your intercooler system, bringing it back half an inch. I already got it on wood planks pretty much and set up to another ½ inch back to where it was without it really touching the radiator. I got the shock mounts off, and again I have that on the table here. And we're going to be cutting these bad boys off, cleaning this hole up really nicely, and then I'm going to be making some mounts using this stock, and I'll show you guys as we progress in this video and get Stav's intercooler system done. Now, Stav, you're basically waiting on me now because you have the spare head pretty much just mocked up on the engine, so this way I can do the intercooler fab. So the pressure's on me. I'm going to get this intercooler system done today for Stav, so later on tonight he can install his head, he can go on to getting this car back together and making some boost and then holding it with some compression.
Compression is nice, you know what's the name. But also, let's add what's the name. We got these serrated hose ends from FFE that they machine in-house. So the reason we're going with these serrated hose ends, and we're going to be we're going V-band, but the problem with V-band is it's completely solid mounted, and you can't really be 100% solid mounted on a street car. So what they do is they use these serrated hose ends. You weld them to, let's say, moving parts like on the motor. One side here, one side would be on the pipe, and use a silicone in between that goes in between these two parts, and this will account for the movement of the motor.
Got it. And these serrated edges are directional, so you see it's kind of angled in one way, and one way it grips, and the other way it slides. So we'll be using it in a way so this way it bites into that silicone for Stav. So as Stav had mentioned, V-band, I already got his V-band flanges pretty much welded onto the side of the intercooler, so those would be fixed. And then we're going to be putting these flex joints into his piping. And Ed says he uses them pretty much on all his client cars, including his own race car. Says it works really well. So we're going to be incorporating here with Stav's car. He does try to drive this daily and pretty much on the street as well, so we'll make it as flexible as possible.
And I guess the reason the serrated hose ends work with, especially if you use a T-bolt clamp, is these serrated hose ends are way thicker. I believe these are like 1/8 inch thick versus 16th inch thick. So
for the piping here,
correct. So when you weld this on, and this is where you clamp onto, it won't crush the aluminum versus the thinner pipe
or distort or anything like that. Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to be putting together a nice intercooler system today with Stav. I'll start mocking things up. Step one's going to be removing these old mounts, cleaning this material up, and then I'm going to be making the original base that's going to be able to bolt up here and be removable for Stav if he ever needs to remove his intercooler with the shock mount together or separately if you wanted to. So,
and we never talked about it. How much are you charging? I mean, because I'm the wiring guru. How much are you charging?
He's the wiring guru. Hey, I'm gonna get this started and get his intercooler system together, and then we'll update as this video progresses. I'm George, and this is the wiring guru. Right. So pretty much got Stav's new beginnings of the base of the mounts. So I'm using this little square tubing, going all the way up. Did a little bead on the top and the side. Should be plenty strong for what Stav's gonna be doing. I did it to the other mount as well. Had to double up because that had a little bit of a space, so I had to use quite a bit of filler rod to make up for the gap there. But as you can tell, between what Stav had before, you know, some flimsy, and it would literally flex and move as he's driving. We're going to start out with some square tubing for a little bit more structure. I'm going to get these mounted to the car and start measuring out how far I got to come out to the intercooler and then how I'm going to mount it. So yeah, it's getting there, guys. So I'm going to start measuring out where I'm going to put the little bases for the mounts on the intercooler, and then we'll start tacking everything up. It's going to be cool. Let's keep going because I'm dying to finish this up so Stav can get his car together. All right, she's hard mounted. I used the square tubing, reinforced it underneath as well, and then I used the tab on the side to weld in those mounts, and it bolts right up on both sides, and it's solid. It ain't going, like, you could stand on this thing. This thing ain't going nowhere. So she's solid mounted now, no swaying while driving with that thin bracket that was like barely welded on before. And now I'll start working on the piping. I'll work on the turbo side since I already welded the serrated edge to it. So I already got the serrated edge modified on the turbo right there. A little serrated piping section. So now the lower pipe, I'll come around, come in, and then weld it to this V-band right here. So it's gonna come out nice. We'll do the turbo side first, and then we'll keep working our way around.
So now I'm seeing George's progress on my intercooler pipes. He's working extremely slow. These look really good. They're just tack welded. They haven't fully seam welded, but they look like they completely line up, which is awesome. And the intercooler, let's see, push on it. Yep, doesn't move. Cleo thinks they're very good. Takes really well. Yeah, but overall it looks really good. Looks like it lines up really well. We have the serrated edges on the end. Probably show them when George fully welds them. But V-band lines up. Looking good, looking good. And now it looks like he's doing my driver's side. So
Like the right side?
yeah, that's all right. What do you call? Yeah, the alignment tool. Basically, going to be using the top part because I have the I don't have an extra vibrant clamp, so we're reusing it. Plus, I already have the nitrous bung inside.
If you want to show them too,
Yeah.
I already welded on your serrated pipe edge.
Yeah.
So I tacked it up there, and then I have the other side here with a 1/2 inch in between just for clearancing. If you want to show them
Yeah.
inside the clamp. So I just have it up there, and I'm working on the left-hand side, just kind of tacking everything up and seeing where it lies. So
Which is nice. On this side, we're going to have the movement of the vibrant.
Yeah.
We're going to have the movement of the silicone, slight movement of the silicone, because the V-band is obviously doesn't move.
And to touch on this, this is the Vibrant alignment clamp. So I have this on Stav. Luckily, Stav's using the same piping I am on the RS3 now.
Well, I
so
mean,
we're able to use
because
the
I had it
alignment
first,
clamps.
you're using the same piping that I was using.
So
yeah.
we're lining everything up for you now and seeing where it's actually dead center. So when this is off and we put the Wiggins, the Vibrant clamp back on, then you'll have the 12 to 13 degrees worth of movement. So this is supposedly, according to Vibrant, and they're, you know, it's a really newly released product. This is the best way to install these. And plus, recently, this is a V-band, but on the Vibrant stuff, it's no longer cast. They're all billet flanges, so it should hold up. And you drive this for a considerable amount of time daily, and then plus, I don't see stuff with all the power, you know, you're gonna be making. that you're gonna be driving this on the street.
I'm saving that clip.
I see this as becoming a track gutted fucking drag monster. So we'll see where it goes for there. But I've tacked on Stav's new flange here. So we're gonna be putting that on, and I'm working on the last bit of pipe here, and I'm reusing the shop that made him the intercooler piping before. So to try to save this flange, I'm gonna do it here and see how much space I have in between, and then cut where I need it with our little bandsaw there, and then get it all tacked and welded. And then once it's all fitted, we'll seam weld everything. But yeah, it's getting there, guys.
And I'm definitely gonna have to wash all those pipes out because there's probably a lot of sawdust in them.
Yeah. So I try to be as clean as I could for you on the intercooler side.
I'm gonna wait for the video because I bet you probably blew dust into the intercooler just to piss me off.
Definitely not. Definitely not. But we're gonna finish up your left-hand side, Stav, and then we'll get it fitted.
But this looks awesome because now it actually lines up, and the V-band has no place, so it has to line up perfect. And then the serrated hose edge, which we'll show you after we take the silicone off, but everything's lining up completely perfect. 2.5 to 3 inch right here.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
I was really skeptical when it comes to these serrated edges, but we'll see. You know, listen, Ed from ForceFed is giving you this guidance. Correct. Let's see how well it works on your car. You beat the shit and you drive this thing all the time, so we'll see how well it works. I'm
not gonna lie, George. I was also skeptical of your welding ability, but I'm seeing today it's much better than I thought. I give you a B+.
Thanks. So this is the second car that I've made intercooler piping for, and then mounts for it. So your intercooler is hard mounted, and I basically could stand on the thing ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, probably the intercooler would bend before the steel mounts.
And then flexing left and right. So I beefed those up.
Hold this. Let's do the shake test.
What shake? Are you gonna shake it?
Let's see. Yeah, that ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, no, it's on there.
Before that thing would be like this.
Yeah, it'll wobble everywhere. So, and I centered it as best as I could, so it should hold it really well. And you know what, Stav? It's actually a ½ inch further back to the radiator than it was before.
So bumper fitment would be better.
Yes, on that bumper there. We may even be able to put the RS bumper as opposed to reusing that. So maybe that might work for you in the future too.
You know, I do have that spare RS bumper.
So, let's finish this left-hand side. I'll get everything mocked up. We'll do an update on the video, and then I'll start seam welding everything. And then Stav, when I'm done, you gotta, on the next episode, yank off this head, get everything back together, and go ripping around in this car. So let's continue off with this left-hand side and see how it ends up looking. So, where are we at right now? I think we got everything fitted. So, I just tacked up a couple spots for the left-hand side. We got your blow-off valve placement pretty much situated, and then in the middle of that is the silicone coupler section.
With the serrated hose ends underneath this.
Correct, yeah, here. And if you want a back voice, I can put some light on there so they can see it.
Ooh, look at that.
So everything is all mocked up. We got perfect alignment here thanks to this vibrant, alignment clamp again. We keep mentioning it not because they're sponsoring us. What we keep mentioning is because it's such a huge revelation as people have been installing these vibrant adjustable couplers now, and having this out just really gets you that perfect alignment and installation. And us being so new to this is something that we're really kind of stressing too. So as you see, I kind of did small little 1-inch beads there just to kind of get everything tacked up, and then I got his silicone coupler there with the serrated ends on the inside, and that's it, Stav.
What's nice about the serrated hose ends, even without the silicone on there, like it barely pulls off because it's really biting to the silicone.
Correct. So I think this is where we're going to end this episode, and then we'll just finish the rest of this episode with some time lapse. So I'm going to just do some seam welding to finish up all this piping for Stav, and then on next episode you'll see Stav together running, driving, moving as he installs his new O-ringed head that we have here on the side that we have to kind of swap out with this stock head that we put in just for mock-up purposes. So we'll take off the turbo kit, take off the intake manifold, take about 10 minutes. We only put about 2 bolts on each side.
Correct.
And then yank off the head, clean it, do whatever, and then get this back together. So while I'm welding and seam welding the rest of this stuff, can start on the motor for our next video that'll probably drop, I don't know, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. So guys, without further ado, I'm George.
I'm Stav.
Thank you for watching Malaka Motorsports, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
You stole my heart of